I'm 8 years old. And today, welcome to our 8th book review and welcome to the Dead House actually, because today we are looking on Horrendous History. And you know why I said welcome to the Dead House? Because if people look like, they will say, because this is a dead house, because history is boring, it's done, because people think it is. And people also think that history is just about something, just about the Boston Tea Party, just about something, that is not explored in it. Just about something which is not explored and not dig deeper in it. But actually, history is something that is really interesting. If you say, and if you know that the Aztecs, the Egyptians who were paid in garlic for building the pyramids, the Aztecs, about the sacrificial victims. When you talk about these stuffs here in this history, or history becomes good. But when you talk about something which is not interesting, it just becomes dull and, boring. But history is not, after all, in the long run, not so boring, because actually history, it never actually ends. It just goes on and on. You just see one day a president comes and he reverts for 2 days other, and the acting president comes until the next president comes. That is also history. If you fell down the stairs and that becomes, and you fracture your leg, that is history. And history is history. And I'm speaking to you, that is also history. So, history is endless. But, it's going to be boring if we talk about the history, all of its fact. That's why it's been labeled Horrendous History. Because the bits in it. Just about 40,000 years ago, people were, hanging around in caves, bashing animals all over the head. And now we are hanging in cyber cafes and gathering information and hunting them instead of 40,000 years ago when hunting mammoths. That's why history is not boring. But now, while we are seeing the important parts, the horrendous parts, the bits, the grisly bits left in history, only the interesting parts, the energizing parts, the charging ones, not the old boring ones. And by the way, it's not such a bit when you see this book is actually and literally 251 pages. So it doesn't look like a bit when you see the pages in it. Anyway, let's start by the pirate. Now you see, when you talk about pirates, you're just gonna think about Captain Hook or Long John Silver. And on the other side, you're gonna look like Blackbeard, who was the evil one. But in the real life, in reality, literally they were a bunch of smelly baddies who used to not bath and never take a shower and just, go on killing all people like savage animals. Those were the pirates. Let's see, maybe incarnations of animals in people who don't know how to, just be, a person who changes history. And they literally changes history because, pirates. Sir Francis Drake was a pirate. And they are called privateers. There's also buccaneers. I'm after about it. Don't ask which one is it. These buccaneers, these were a bunch of nasty blokes. Like, let's call, yes. Like, there was one buccaneer called Leonidas, who cut a Spanish prisoner's heart and shoved it into the mud of another. What a yum for a pirate. And there was another guy named Edward Lowe, cut a man's lips, chopped one person into another. And, that's also a reputation for being a pirate. One pirate named Rock Brasiliano, that's a funny name, spit roasted 2 Spanish farmers alive because they wouldn't hand out animals to feed them. And Rock was like, okay, if you want, let us eat your animals, we'll eat you instead. What a great proposition for people who don't like to hand over animals. So, this is, pirates are like this. First of all, we have got the definition of pirates. Nasty, smelly baddies who like nothing other to just kill people. That's the definition of pirate. Whenever you think of a pirate, don't go on like Long John Silver and, Captain Hook. Now see, Blackbeard was the name of this guy named Edward the Great or Edward something, which was a really legendary name. And he's been nicknamed Blackbeard for some reason. Some reason that means that he was so scary, and he also used to, light fire on his head, light candles on his head just to make it look more scary. Maybe that's the name why he got Blackbeard. Now see, Blackbeard, he, literally was challenged to a duel in 1717 and was hit and stabbed 25 times before he hit the deck, literally, and for the real time. I mean, that's why Blackbeard was called Blackbeard. By the way, Blackbeard is something which is portrayed in many movies. You see everything is, Blackbeard nowadays. With that, pirates, they are also considered a bad thing. How many things have been, considered so bad. Some pirates even like to, tear people in each direction, like trying them to ships, just putting the ships apart and they just tear. And some pirates will be like, how about sending your legs and your arms to the same address as your body? And that makes a sense of tearing your whole body apart. Anyway, it must be something that is really invented great. Some guy who was some big and bad buccaneer might have invented it. Don't ask me, it's a buccaneer, might be a privateer. There's also a pyrocoon, some guy who's a pirate and slaves. And pirates still exist to this day. You can see them in Somalia. You see, there's history. Newspaper comes, Somalian pirates attacked some guys off. But these pirates are more modern than the wind sail ships. Now pirates are on steamships and the ships, which are cargo ships. That's pirates in these days. Next off, we'll talk about the Chinese. Chinese, you see, this is something, a big topic. This must be the longest chapter in the book. Now you're starting to find that history is not dull after all. Of course, you would love to now read history. Now see, the Chinese were these guys who were a little inventors. They were such inventors. This is coming. They invented something. They were also a bunch of gruesome grannies too, but a bunch of kind emperors. Now see, Qin Shi Huangdi, we're gonna talk about him later. You're gonna see. Now, as we saw that the Chinese Empire started about in, 2021 BC. I'm just guessing, but it's just around here. BCE, I should say, because it started in BCE. That was ancient China. Then came Imperial China. We are going to talk about it later. And now there is the modern revolution, Mao Zedong China, which should be, yes, this is the modern China. First it comes the ancient China, second Imperial China, and third the Mao Zedong, or the revolutionary or the communist China which has come. That's the last of it. Now China first came with the Song. You heard about this dynasty, Song, Xia, Tong, Ming, Tang, Ming, and whatever other, I just can't pronounce this. Those are dynasties. But here's a question, what are dynasties? Now a dynasty is something that is, having ruler. Now see, this is the ruler. Let's say his name is Wang Wu, it's all true. And when he dies, then if he has some sons, maybe not, or daughters, whatever. No, see, empresses, they didn't even come in China. The wife of one emperor in China even broke the law. Ran in court to just become the emperor. And that was the first empress of China. But, when an emperor had a son before that incident, he dies. Let's say Wang Wu dies. And then, let's say Xingzong, whatever, comes in and takes the line. And then, it comes all the new generations like Napoleon II, and, it just goes on and on until the last in the line of the dynasty dies. And if some new son or nobody is over here to take the throne, just finished. And the first dynasty, Song dynasty, that was really good actually. It even, lasted for at least 600 years. It just, chucked it out. checked and did a good job. I don't know why it did a good job. Maybe they were so nasty, or maybe they did a good job in one kind mostly. After the Zia came Song. Now see, the Song dynasty, if you see, there was where the fortune telling was invented. Fortune telling. Now see, fortune telling is not like cracking a cookie up. Fortune telling is something else in Imperial China. In ancient China, Imperial China is going to take it to a whole new level. But the earliest level, now we are in ancient China. Don't think about those cookies. Ancient China was actually like, bones cracked. You will gonna read cracks in the bones like just reading leaves in the teacup. Sounds really, strange. Even when later of years ago, they even fooled people when they saw these bones with carvings. They thought they were dragons' bones. And now they crushed these powder and made up and they thought that they would turn into the dragons and have yellow purple scales and be into some type of dragon that will kill everybody out. Mostly the Chinese fireball. Now, you see, after this dynasty came the Qin dynasty. Qin Shi Huangdi. You know about him? Qin Shi Huangdi. He also had a student. We're going to talk about that, but that's something for another time. But now see, King Shi Huangdi, he started off well at the age of 9, he became an emperor. But then he got a little nasty. He was a nasty piece of destruction. There were also nasty pieces of destruction, like Vladimir the Impaler. You're going to talk about him in the Revolt. You're going to talk about him in the, the medieval time. Yes, but that's, era for another time. We're just gonna talk about it later. It's gonna come later. When it comes later, everything is later. But when you see something is later, that's also history. Anyway, back to everyone. King Shi Huangdi didn't want to, just influence everybody. So he just, burned all the books in the library and just finished it all. Then, as for people who wrote books, he just, buried them alive. Now, see, this is one example of a nasty piece of work. Somebody who doesn't care about somebody influencing. And this guy, Qin dynasty, this guy, he had 7,000 model army soldiers made out of clay, the terracottas, which were discovered in 1974, buried with him in his tomb. Would you think, I don't have to talk about it, but let me just tell you a hint. The terracotta warriors were on one side, and on the other side was King Shi Huangdi's tomb, which wasn't discovered actually until really late. After King Shi Huangdi died, he had no Wang Wu, Ming Wu, Ming Zhang Ting, and no other dynasty to capture it. After then, the Qing dynasty was flushed down the toilet. After the Qing dynasty was flushed down the toilet, came the Han dynasty. Now the Han dynasty, we are going really much about the Churlish Chinese. I think we should skip it. But let's, history is fun. So we just not gotta underestimate it. Now, this Han guy was not so, he was just a servant of King Shi Huangdi. And by the way he saw that he could, as King Shi Huangdi had no sons, he could flush him down the toilet. He flushed King Shi Huangdi down the toilet. And now came the Han dynasty. Now this guy was a little bit kinder to the people and now wasn't like King Shi Huangdi killing all the book readers everywhere, just burning it up. And there was, order of this, maybe. Yes, there was an order. And first came the emperor, of course. Second came the nobles, the scholars, which are named at the... Oh, let me see. Oh, no, Sheng, maybe. Sheng, yes, it is the Sheng. Then came the peasants, which were the Nong. Then came the... Yes. Then came the craft workers. The craft workers. First came the emperor, second came the nobles, the Sheng, then came the peasants, the Nong, then came the craft workers, the Gong, and then came the merchants, the Shong. Oh, yes, it's easy. Shong, Nong, Gong, Ming, Gong. I hope I'm pronouncing this right. It's so tough. It's like something like this. Shong, Nong, Gong, Sheng. Yes, easy. All you have to do this. And yes, you just have to go like this. Old Confucius teachings, there were just three religions in China. Believe it or not. And believe it or not, today there are also three religions. First they were over there, Taoism. Taoism and Confucianism. These were ideas. Then was Buddhism. Taoism was founded by a chap named Lao Tzu. Now Lao Tzu, Lao Tzu, he's called Tzu. I don't know where people got it. He had Taoism. Now, old Confucius, aka Confucius, became Confucianism. And this was like to people like to the children mostly. The children should obey their parents and respect them, and husband should, and the wife should obey the husband, and they should all, obey the emperor, of course. That was great if you were born in a rich family or a noble or, some emperor, some merchant or some craft worker who are rich and filthy rich. Filthy rich. Rolling in money. If you were born in there, that would be really good. But if you had to work for old dusty peanuts and old dusty peanuts in the mine, or you had to be a peasant, then it's gonna go like something opposite of that. Anyway, we've got to skip this. This is going a lot. This is going to the next level. This is going so quick. We should now go where, yes, the end of the Chinese Empire. Everything comes to an end. And we know the end of it. We just skip all the boring parts and go to the end. And the end of the Chinese Empire came in 1912. This was Imperial China. We are in Imperial China. Stop talking about those fortune cookies now still. Now see, we are in Imperial China. The end of Imperial China came in 1912. The end of the Chinese Empire. The last dynasty came in 1912. 1908, should we say, came Henry Puyi. It was written on the account of his diapers, which was, a bit awkward. After that, when Puyi got off, abdicated to just not get his head chopped off, we're going to talk about the gut lean later on, to not get that fate, then that's why he abdicated. That was the end of the Chinese Empire. Now we are in, the revolving China, the revolutionary China, the Mao Zedong China, the communist China. Now think about the fortune cookie. Now just think about that, because that is the revolutionary China. Anyway, Imperial China and ancient China, they were whole different than that. There was a foot blinding, something which women did to put their foot in shoes and make them small and small. That stunned the foot's growth. Anyway, end of the line. Let's go to the Greeks. Now see the Greeks. We have to talk about the Greeks. The Greeks and the Romans, they are really, really, really big, and they should be talked about. They covered a lot of mess. For some time the Romans, they just, conquered the whole coastline. They just conquered the coastline. But as for the Greeks, they conquered from the Greece till, maybe we can say the subcontinent. Yes! From the Greece till the subcontinent, and still apart from North Africa, Egypt, Morocco, Spain, and Tunisia. Just Spain was also there in their control. Greece was also there in their control. All these places were in their control. And even the subcontinent. All that between was their control. Like everything was there in between there. And that was some type of wanted territory. See, the Greeks, like to do many things, and Greeks invented a lot of things, just like the Chinese invented gunpowder, paper, like bamboo paper, silk was also invented by the Chinese. Just like that, invented by the Greeks. They invented also many things. Now, the Greeks had a different way of living than the Chinese. First, they had these gods like, maybe I don't know the name of them, but, there's so many of them, I can't name them at all once. But, they had different religions, and first of all, they had to do different things. They made different monuments, and they had such a vast area that I can't even count all of it at once. They came closest to world dominance. Enough of talking about the Greek Empire. Let's go on the history of the Greek Empire. Now see, the Greeks came into existence. They moved into Greece. Greece is where they originated. And they also had a language called hieroglyphs. When they lost the language of hieroglyphs, they started trading with the Phoenicians, which gave the Phoenicians, that's their name, which gave them their language. And it was like this. It was just like the English language. The only problem was it didn't had any vowel. Like, what did they, like, how could they, no vowels in it. Just forget all the vowels, take out and make words. Like, if we say Horrendous History, we're going to take all the vowels, O is taken out of the words. Now what is going to something? And E is taken out. Now, when we take out I do, then it's going to be, totally ridiculous. Ridiculous taking out all the vowels. So, that's what happened. There I did extra signs for the vowels, and that was how the alphabet was made. That's how the origin came. The alphabet was made. But that is only just one part of the Greeks. The Greeks, they also, had different ways. They also invented boxing. The sports, they were mostly done in the nude because the Greeks like to do most things naked. I don't know why they do that, but, it just happened. Now, biggest part of the Greeks was the Trojan War. Why the Trojan War was, the people, yes, Homer's Odyssey is the key to that. Homer is the key to that. He told about it. He told it and people didn't believe it. No, people didn't believe it until Troy was excavated. It didn't happen about lack of food. It happened because of a kidnapping of a Greek woman. That's why. One guy kidnapped, they just burned all the Trojan horse alive. And the Trojan horse was the thing which made the Troy fell into the trick. The Trojan people fell into the trick because of that wooden horse. And then they just, burned the whole Trojan city alive. That is the end of it. I'm just skipping it ahead. So we have a lot of different points to go. We have Romans too. The Romans, they took their right for takeover. Anyway, Greeks are done. I just skipped it short just because we have a lot of more stops to go. The Romans. You see, the Romans after this, the Romans are also a whole different subject. They were like the Greeks as first because, they maybe didn't spoke the same language but originated from the same line. But, the Romans just covered the coastline of Europe, so, but it was still a big mass. Yes, it was still a big mass and it still had a big coastline. So that means, the Roman Empire was also a big thing. It's something big and unstoppable. Also coming close to one dominance. Now see, the Romans were, they took over the Romans. Now the Romans came on. The Romans also had a different way of doing. They had hospitals, not the great hospitals. If you had some problem, you needed to go and, they just needed to cut you without anesthesia. And they just gave you garlics and herbs for healing. Anyway, they were more sensible from the Greeks. They also had, a lot of other things. Most of chariot racing, chariot racing was also there. Slaves mostly used to do it, and then they just, win it and become rich and famous and, just rolling in money and all this. There also was, the Roman Empire. It's very big, it's endless. I can't talk about it right now. We have to skip it. We have to go a lot. There's also the Egyptians coming next. Anyway, back to the Egyptians. Now, the Egyptians remained before the Roman, before the Greek Empire. And they stayed in such a time which was, in the desert. In the desert of Arabia. We can't say Arabia. Egypt isn't in Arabia. Yes, it isn't in the Middle East. It's in Africa. But let's just call it the land and the middle of nowhere. And so, in the middle of nowhere, the Egyptian desert, there were the Egyptian nests. They were just nesting in the Egyptian desert, nesting in it. And there was a king. Not a king, there was a pharaoh. Now see, this pharaoh, there were a lot of pharaohs. There were so many pharaohs you can't even believe it. That's why the Egyptians lived a lot of time. Now, the Egyptians, you just had the swap shop. You just had a shop. And you just had to, if you wanted to buy something from the shop, you just had to swap and go away. Just like, hello, and you just take it and you just run away. And they swapped it at a fixed price. So, you can take anything for free, but you had to have it on a fixed price. People also use melted blobs on their hair to make them smell great. Why did they put melted blobs on their hair? Now see, people even made pyramids. They made pyramids and the pyramid of Giza was also made, the pyramid of Khufu was also made, and there were also, people. And if you didn't obey those laws, the lords couldn't punish you. They were thinking that, the kings, the pharaohs, they couldn't punish you. But you thought that you would get punished yourself. Well, that's what the Egyptians thought. Something like that. And they had these gods, Anubis, something like that. Anubis, Thoth, what the name is it? Thoth, what is it? Or something like that. Thoth, let's see, Thoth, And they were also nasty pieces of work. Like, yes. One guy was a nasty piece of work. And yes. He was, where Tyrant came from. His name was something like Dracolan or something like that. Draco, mere khayal. I think Draco. Mere khayal se Draco hi hai. I think Draco. Maybe. Something like that. Draco or something. What was it? Draco or... Yeah, Draco. Maybe. We can just call him. Just let's call him Thoth. Thoth, okay? It's gonna make a nickname, a good nickname. We can just pronounce it. Anyway, Mr. Thoth, as we called him, he was something a nasty piece of work. He just killed a lot of people. That's why, from where the tyrant word came. The tyrant is actually an emperor ruler, not something who just, just killed everybody. That's something from folk and myths. Why people call tyrants who are not actually, they're not actually brutal, who are tyrants. So we just have to call people who are rulers tyrants. Let's say Queen Elizabeth is a tyrant. Although she doesn't kill people, she is a king. So we can say she's a tyrant. So tyrant, it's not a word used for violence. It's a word that is not used for violence. It's something for a queen. It's a monarch. Something for a monarch. With the Egyptians done, we don't have to talk about the Egyptians a lot. With the Egyptians done, we can come to the medieval times. Now see, the medieval times are also sometimes, which are also a big time. This was also, the time where this is the important time. This is the, where the real grisly bits, where the real history bits, where the real great bits come in. Now it all starts with, how the Mongols came and invaded the city of Kaffa in Crimea and just, infecting plague-rotten bodies in the whole area. And then it was done. And then came the real great time. The great time, and then people, just lost it totally. And now just blame it on the French. Now people didn't want it to come. Everybody is like, the war of the world coming on, and just, people were like, oh no, there's a plague. And people were, just like to nick stuff anywhere because there was a plague and nobody had time to say something. That was the Black Death. So the medieval times opened from the Black Death. And then after that, when the Black Death was finished, there was a lot of panic throughout the Europe, very much. So after the Black Death, the medieval times started. The medieval times started with the Black Death, which was a really cruel one. At least 1 million people were killed in Europe in the 1500s. We are not so far actually from the Aztecs. From the Aztecs, we are not so far actually. Now, after this came, kings, monarchy was there because there were monarchy in England from all these monarch times. Now, see, people, there were a lot of peasants in there. Peasants, there was also the peasants revolt. Peasants, they were farmers. Nobody even let them to have anything. So they actually started revolting, and which led a big loss to the state. Now the peasants, they had to also deal with them, so they didn't have to now, just go on. Now, on the long run, we go on and we see that they were Byrons. After the king came the Byrons. And the Byrons, these guys, they also were the kings, the second level, the lower level, which were also a nasty piece of work. One Byron, Wallard the Emperor. He killed so many people. He was so frightening that even the people who, he was so frightening that it is said that the vampire, the fictional vampire Dracula is based on him. Wallard the Impaler lived for 38 years but caused something that killed everybody. Wallard the Impaler. Note this name. Write this. Think about something that is a really cruel thing and you will just got the name Wallard the Impaler. And the Renaissance came at last, the Renaissance. The Renaissance, it just finished all the medieval times. And now there was also the Vikings. The Vikings, we have to talk about them. We just have to, tell about the Vikings. The Vikings, they were something, as you talk in the pictures, you see the pictures, and, people just observe the Vikings as something very cute. The horn caps on their heads, which, everybody thinks of. Vikings, they're used already. Everybody says Viking, Viking, Vikings. They even made a game about it. Vikings. But they don't wear horns, as people think. Horn helmets, no! They instead wear cute little round caps, something like out of Mad Max. Yeah, that was the thing. Now, how's that for spoiling their image? What a nasty one. Spoiling the image of the Vikings. Well, who would come up with such a false idea? That person should be accused. Because, they didn't wear such horn helmets. Wow. What a foolish statement. After the Vikings, the Saxons, they took off the Vikings. Now, after the Vikings were done, there came in the Revolting Revolution. This one is an important one. We need to talk about this. This one, that is really on the run. That is something that is, just totally bombarded. The revolutionary bombards it. The French Revolution. It all starts with the storming of the Bastille prison, when it was stormed. Something really bad came on. Now, after this, all things were fine for a few years until the terror came. The terror is something that is something I cannot talk about. The terror, where this guy named Robespierre was, known for the terror, but we are going to get to him in a few seconds. First, the revolutionary government came. Now, revolutionary government, they were, just really revolting. And they were against the monarchy. And whoever was, with the monarchy, they just, their heads would be lost off. Then there was my favorite instrument. Personally, if I wanted to execute somebody, I'd use this instrument. And that is my favorite instrument of execution, and that is the popular one, the one used in movies, the, really thing which is the really popular one, the Gatoli. Did you ever think about the Gatoli? Well, everyone is here of that. We are not going to talk about it, but something that you have just pictured the Gatoli in your head. You have just pictured it. Heads chopping off by the Gatoli. Now, that's why there were some guys who are, old people maybe in the who used to watch the Gatoli, and they just, started throwing plastic bottles at them, and they just, took their knitting, old women, they just took their knitting and just started seeing the Gatoli. Those were also known as, they were known as the grannies of the Gatoli, or the furies of the Gatoli. They were known as such things. And this became a famous tool, just like when Louis XVI, also Louis XVV, Louis XVI for all the non-Roman speakers watching, Louis XVI, when he was, just executed. Then Mary Antoinette. Now see the queen's wife, the king's wife. Now this Mary Antoinette thing was, she was also something who didn't care about the poor people. She also went on jewelry and luxury. And when the poor people complained of not having bread, she was like, let them eat cake. And then, people were having her head chopped off. That was where the revolutionary government started off. And if you look too rich and wearing the, some number 18 shirts, then you would also get your hauled off to the guillotine. And, people were so tired of that. They wanted to just commit suicide. They would just shout, long live the king, and, in the streets. And then, you'd just be hauled off the guillotine. There was such a thing in that thing. And then this guy came, Robespierre, he started helping the poor. But then got a bit nasty, and then started executing his old schoolmates. Made 7 days, 10 days. Made the months January, February to month of the flower and month of the spring. He got executed in 1794, which is a big relief. But after that, he didn't get, never a monarchy came again. France never had a monarchy again. Anyway, end of the story for the revolution. Of course, there is a Victorians after that, and there is also the Second World War. And there are also other gruesome bunches in Horrendous History. I can't talk about this so long. It's, still the how much you've heard, the little much you have heard, the bit you have heard, all this was, a big bit. This was all the bit, the grisly bit in the Horrendous History book. Was a grisly bit of history, the grisly bits left in, which didn't make you feel that this was dull. Fun fact of the day. Aztecs were also the fun fact of the day. Aztecs made the skull of rags from killing their sacrifices from their bones, their skulls. They were mostly humans. They made a skull rack out of it. And the Egyptians were paid in cloves and garlics for building the pyramids. Oh, that's what, they'd be really unhappy for lumping these big stones around and seeing that I'm just paid in garlic. Oh no, that's a real bad idea. Anyway, there were also the Aztecs. We skipped about that, and there was also the Second World War and the Victorians. But that is a book review for another time. But for this one, you got it. I just wanted to teach you a lesson that history is not dull and boring at all. It is actually interesting. So this was all for today, and if you want to see more videos, go to my website zidaneham.com or even log into my Facebook page. And don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel. I'll be waiting for your feedback. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.